Hello, Mr. Walker. Placement and induction. And again, another exciting time, especially when you have brand new people to your organization who are infusing different opinions, different perspectives, maybe more enthusiasm and energy. It's a great time. It's all, first part of the year is always great, meeting new people, especially when you're in a small town and you've been around the same people for such a long period of time. Those new ideas and that freshness really creates something. It's too bad it has to be that way because we should be fresh with each other all the time, and feel just really glad to be around the people we get to see. But as well as I, adding different ideas and flavors of culture to the mix really make that tapestry of what education can be even better. So this is again another one of those exciting times. First of all, assignment and placement, really interesting. And again, you and I worked in districts that were exploding in their size, so there were people who could make requests, and each year, the school district I was in, there were requests for reconsideration of different placements. They would come in a Excel worksheet, and people had made their specific requests. They were kept confidential to just the administrative team. It was interesting, when we got together then, and there were 14 of us administrators, and 7 were building principals. And when you would have individuals who would ask to leave, you couldn't help but feel personally a little bit responsible for that. That was really interesting. So I'm interested to see how this will be done at Carroll. And when people ask for changes, whether they take it personally or whether they just take it professionally. I hope they don't take it personally because people sometimes just see their talents or as they've grown into different things or maybe even got different experiences or different certifications would like to try different things, just as advancement in their background. So that's going to be really interesting. In Carroll, I was shoot, excuse me, I went offline there for a second, completely different kind of a environment and climate where I was at prior. Um, Trying to make those assignments is tricky. You are trying again, right job, right time, right person, like always. That's kind of what rings true in each one of these. And sometimes it's even making a suggestion. If they're not maybe living up to expectations and their capacities are different, would they be better in a different position? For the classified staff, was simple for me, easy to move people around. Sometimes it was because of relationships, sometimes it was because of their talents. Might have discerned differently during the interview and hated to ever have to dismiss anybody. So, in a growing school district, lots of times you could find positions. This year, right now, I'm involved even in Carroll in moving somebody to a position that we think that would be great because a program is going to change dramatically, and this person who has been teaching in that program really probably would be better off in a different program with the expectations that are going to be asked for. That person is resisting a bit because it's an involuntary transfer at this time. So, again, I know all the stickiness that goes along with those things. And man, I really found over the years those transfers really work out well a lot of times. In fact, sometimes they work out better, and the person comes back and says, "Wow, you really understood what my abilities and talents were, and this is really working out well." So we'll see, but I know those things come up. But that placement, basically is just this, that it's the welfare of the student and the welfare of the school and the success of the school in mind. That's all. That's the only reason. And hopefully it doesn't get to a place where you're not able to address concerns of expectations and have to ask the person to maybe look elsewhere rather than within the district. So anyway, those are great, and it's I find it rewarding um, to have frank discussions like that and say these are your talents and let them speak and listen, and in the end try to make a decision that is absolutely the best for the children in our district. The induction process, we, like I mentioned to you, we had a lot of new teachers and a lot of first year teachers. So the new teacher orientation usually occurred early before school started. It does at Carroll as well for new teachers, new people to the district, as well as first year teachers who are classified differently. We have instructional coaches and mentors in Carroll, and I think that's a fantastic program. I have a mentor myself, yay. Hasn't been assigned to me yet. I sort of asked a couple people if they would be my mentor. So we'll see how that goes, but that's welcome. And, just a fantastic process of not leaving people out on an island because we already discussed the dedicated funding and resources of hiring somebody. Well, you don't want to lose them right away. In fact, you don't want to lose them at all. You hope you retain them for a long time and that they stay in education if that's where their abilities lie, and if they're really successful at it, that they remain. And those first years can be incredibly difficult. Lots of research that points us in processes and procedures that can help first year teachers and teachers new to your building. So we got to make sure we pay particular attention to those things. One thing I forgot to mention about assignment, seniority, and boy, weighing that as a leader in a building is sometimes incredibly difficult. Just one instance I had with a particular teacher who, had 37 years of great success all on the way, but maybe was getting to a point where capacities were starting to be diminished, and wanting to protect that person, help that person, and again make sure that the kids were getting served best is what a balance. And I'm sure you've probably been through that in your experience as well. So really touchy, because I do want to make sure that I'm honoring and celebrating the many years and the impacts that people have had who have had long tenures. But boy, it gets to a place sometimes where you are really there's the critical mass of helping kids has to be the number one concern. As far as the induction goes, knowing the anthropology of your school and being able to explain and let people live that in every way means really asking them, requesting them to do specific activities that get them involved, and I think that leads to them maintaining that momentum of involvement throughout their career. So I'm very hopeful. I don't know as much about the induction process at Carroll, but it's something we'll talk about here soon at our admin team, because it is important that we get quality people and then we keep them, and also that they feel like they're part of the community. I had an interesting conversation with my eye doctor. As I'm ending my insurance, so I wanted to use my eye insurance, of course. And so I went to the eye doctor in Carroll so that I could establish a relationship there for my family and myself. And he mentioned that he'd been there a long time and never really felt like he was let in completely as a Carrollite. I got to tell you, just in the little time I've been there, I feel like that already. So I'm thinking maybe that's maybe personal perspective, because already I feel like people have accepted me into the community, and I don't feel like an outsider in any way. But I guess we'll see. Some of the things that should go into the orientation, obviously meet and greet of staff, in particular those that they're going to work most closely with, tours of everything in the community as well, so that they can get the flavor of the community, and then all the procedures and making sure that at the beginning, first of all, there's going to be some changes this year, I'm sure, with staff, with my leadership, so that everybody in each building really understands what the procedures are. So especially our classified staff don't have to go tracking them down, that they're doing the right things for those people, and the maintenance staff and all the people who don't get paid as much, but really kind of keep everything running and in tune. Um, and then evaluation of that process, I think, is important every single year. That we're continually looking at the induction process to make sure we're completely encompassing everything that someone could need. And that's basically just asking those people who have went through it, what are the things we missed? What are the things that you really felt like you didn't have any information on, or you felt kind of out on an island? Like I said, and I have a mentor, and I'm looking forward to working with them. Thanks again, Mr. Welker. Great chapter, and led to much thought again of the way I need to go forward in my particular position soon.